Namaste. Welcome back to Smriti. In the channel of Vedas, Smriti has been very honored to bring in several scholars to speak about Vedic wisdom and knowledge. And today we have Dr. Purushotham Sistla with us. What an honor. Thank you so much for being with us today. You wanted to share on sun god, sun Bhagavan, Surya Bhagavan, we say. And the topic you chose is Maha Souram. And I'm just excited, want to know more about it. Thank you once again. But before, I would like to take, with your permission, to introduce you to our Smriti viewers. Dr. S. Purushotham Sistla, a retired IT professional, has been associated with institutes of ancient wisdom since retirement. He has been a student of Vedic studies in NVAK, Nada Veda Adhyayana Kendra, Bangalore, under the tutelage of esteemed scholar Dr. Sri C.L. Prabhakar. His interests and work in spiritual field include Vedas and associated traditional Shastras. He is on a quest to understand them rationally from a scientific point of view and to bridge the practical world goals and those set by the ancient rishis for humans. Now back to thinking of sun. Sun is the Pratyaksha Devata. Many of us feel, we see, we perceive, we pray, sun god. Science has proved sun's effects on health and well-being. Exposure to sun, feeling bright under the bright sun. Vitamin D, we all talk about it, and on. Sun is considered the source of energy, life itself. Now questions arise when we think in scientific material views versus the Vedic views. The sun in solar system, the big star, the luminary and planets orbiting around, and viewed as a Vedic god, a personified form. There is certainly a balance in the operating system. When we talk about operating system, it's not just the computers. We have this body of life. It's a beautiful operating system, very well balanced. And also when we talk about sun in the Vedic side, there definitely comes the astrological influences. It being a graha, there is some influence on everything in the universe. Various temples were built and exist to this day and being visited since times immemorial. There are several forms of sun worship, and today the topic Maha Souram is one of those upasanas, sun worship. Before we start on the topic, I was very much intrigued when I listened to you at one of the conferences last year in 2020 at the NVAK Waves conference. It was their 26th annual conference where many of us spoke, and you spoke on Maha Souram, and a wealth of information was given. And what a timing. We are in the month of February in 2021. Generally, in our Vedic practices, a year, January month, in the sense, although it is the new year in the Gregorian calendar, but still that time of the year, even in the lunar calendar, we praise sun god. We just passed Sankranti in January, and a whole month of practice is dedicated honoring the glory of sun. And there is Ratha Saptami coming up in mid-February. And what a synchronicity, a beautiful time to really reminisce, listen to the sun's extraordinary performance in our lives. Please take over on Maha Souram. Thank you once again for being here.
Thanks very much for this opportunity. Let me make an attempt to share whatever little I know, and probably that is how I think our knowledge keeps growing, by sharing. Mahasaram is actually a collection of mantras or rigs from Rgveda. 65 of them have been selected and put in a specific order. And this compilation is recommended for good health and benefits for the human race. And I just would like to use some slides to share some points so that it becomes easy. I guess you are able to see all right.
I can see. I hope and trust the audience can see as well. Thank you. This helps.
Right. So 65 rigs from Rigveda have been selected and put in a particular order to bring about the set of net result, which is to bolster, to enhance one's health and longevity. That's how it is believed. And typically for most of these things, to name it, to put a date on it is going to be very difficult. Generally, this Maha Souram formation of this particular compilation is attributed to Sonagadi Mahamunis a long time back. That means we don't have the actual year. We cannot. So I just would like to give you some idea of the structure of my talk so that I have already done the introduction part of it. Sonaka Muni has done it along with his team, 65 mantras which are picked up from Rigveda, and this entire compilation is in a specific order, supposed to give us good health and has been practiced by many. So before we go into the actual Maha Souram, maybe it's a good idea to spend a couple of minutes on the concept of sun as we know today and what our ancestors really had. And very well-known sun worships, and Sauram being one of it, and a little bit of a structure of Sauram. And we'll pick up a few of those examples, some rigs and mantras, and see what is its literal meaning and how it is helpful, how it is said that it is helpful for specific maladies, how to overcome those. Then, of course, my pet piece is how can we understand it scientifically with a rational mind? While I understand that rationality has its own limitations, but I think we'll just add that depending on time. This is the general structure which guides our talk today. And we can, of course, have a little bit of an interaction during or at the end, both ways.
Thank you.
Sun, as we know, a material view and a Vedic view, both I have given. Let us go through the material view because that's what we understand much easily. We know it's a star. There's so many millions of stars in our galaxy and outside the galaxy, and it's just, but it is so supreme for us because there's the only God. There's the only star we see so close. So it's a star with a bunch of gases, mostly hydrogen and helium, and it's more of a nuclear reaction that is going at the core of the sun. Hydrogen getting converted into helium and a lot of energy being released in the outer space in the form of heat and light. And it's a perfect nuclear reactor that's going on there. So maybe one quick look, not that this is just an artistic view of how the sun would be. So when this such tremendous amount of heat is going out, a lot of thermal energy, and there is also a gravitational pull towards the center. It works, it remains in a hydrostatic equilibrium. So this is the wonderful balance that is there. So it is a sort of a controlled nuclear reaction, we may say so. It's a fusion that is going on, and we get plenty of matter getting converted into energy and pushed into the outer space. And all other planets are in the gravitational field of sun. That's what we believe, and that is so. So that's the entire planetary system under the sun's influence. And sun is also, of course, life giver, and it takes care of because of the water and the right temperature that is there on the earth, we are able to live. This is the general view, and Vedic view is not too much different. Vedic view is that it doesn't look at it as a sort of a physical object, a set of gases, but we consider that as a god. Any force, if you see, any force, any energy, any expression of power, in our ancestral view or Vedic view, it is sort of personified or it is glorified as a god. So it's after all a name. We are giving it as a god, or we call it by something else. It's a power, and it's also considered in the Vedic view. It's also considered as a life giver and health giver. Astrologically, sun has influence on the other planets, which in turn have an impact on our individual or human beings, their life. So, to some extent, this also matches with our normal view of we are looking at it as a gravitational impact. Gravitational field of sun is where the rest of the planets are. However, astrologically, the gravitation has its own impact according to our ancestors, and those influences in turn will have influence on the human beings. That is the belief. Also, the sun creates the right environment on the earth, and it provides health and life for all all beings, all life. So this is not much different. There are two different views, but not too much different. We just would like to spend a quick couple of minutes on the various worships which are available, which are known popularly for sun, because all believe that sun is the life giver. Gayatri is a very, very popular mantra chanted throughout the world, asking this great deity, which is actually driving the sun's energy. The goddess or the deity for sun is Savitr, and we're asking this god or goddess to stimulate our thought. And once your thoughts are fine, you are going to go ahead and do good things. So the most important thing our ancestors have realized is ability to think right. So to stimulate our minds to do right things, to be able to think well. So that's the essence of Gayatri. It's a very well-known and highly popular mantra chanted all over. Surya Namaskara is another. Clockwise, we need to look at them. So various positions, very physical positions or the postures itself, being in that position for a minute minimum is going to give you a great physical fitness. And each of these positions, people chant different mantras. There are various ways of doing the Surya Namaskaras using different types of chantings. Very simple one is to say the name of God or the name of sun, like Mitraya Namaha, Ravaye Namaha, Suryaya Namaha, so on and so forth. In each position, the pronunciation with full-throated, with taking good breath in that position is itself going to give great health. And this is something which one can practice and get it. And a lot of research is also done on this. And people who are generally healthy, they can definitely see its benefits. And those who are not healthy, they can see how it helps them to overcome the ailments. Of course, they are not meant for everybody. Specific diseases probably one has to consult and then get into this. One should not do a self-prescription of Surya Namaskaras. So Aditya Hridayam is another popular story. Many people know about it. When Rama was fighting with Ravana to do to finish him off, he was exhausted and highly disturbed. He was not able to do the final act of killing him. And at this time, it is said that Shri Agastya gives Rama this Upadesha. By chanting this, it is said that Rama was able to finally get the grace of Surya Bhagavan, who helps him to do away with Ravana. And these three are quite popular, and many more like Aruna Prashna. Aruna Prashna is more of a Vedic thing. Same thing is Maha Souram. Aruna Prashna is a part of Yajurveda, Taittiriya Shakha. In Aranyakam part, the second part of the Vedas. The first one is being Samhita, which is the core of the Vedas. The Aranyakam is something which gives you a little more detail as to how you should apply. Very interestingly, while the entire Aruna Prashna deals with the praise of Surya Bhagavan, on the way it mentions several interesting things like the origin of time, formation of seasons, and water and the atmosphere, how the rain is formed, and how it goes back as clouds, so on and so forth. And this is very interesting. As a part of this Aruna Prashna, there are also some good subhashitas, and nice, wise sayings which can be used for practical life. So that's about Aruna Prashna, which is to be chanted only after getting proper initiation into the chanting practice to a guru. Something similar, Maha Souram, the actual subject of our discussion today. We'll get into that. This is a little bit of a complex slide, but not to worry too much. The serial number of the mantra in the Maha Souram is given here in the first column. First nine mantras relate to Rigveda. I trace back them to the Rigveda, first mandala, 50th sukta, first mantra. To first mandala, 50th sukta, 9th mantra. These 9 are mapped to here to the Rigveda. And the very first mantra is so that there is no confusion. Udutyam jata vedasam devam vahanti ketavaha. That is the very first mantra, first line of the mantra. And corresponding Rishi and Chandas also is given here. Chandas, as we know, any mantra in our tradition has to go with the Rishi, Chandas, and the deity. So deity is, except for the last couple of them, the deity is Surya Bhagavan himself. So I did not keep it for to avoid the repetition. Rishis are different. Prashkanvam Rishi and Gayatri Chandas are the first 9, and next few are here Anushta Chandas. Like that, every one of the 65 mantras in Souram are connected or traced back to the Rigveda, and the very first mantra is given here, or at least first line of the mantra, and corresponding Rishi and Chandas. And I have given only first 32 mantras because that's a matter of detail, which probably may not interest. It is good to know how they are traced back to the Rigveda. Here is a chart which probably gives the entire Veda, entire Mahasauram in a gist, gives its real value. As they say, Phalashruti, what exactly is the benefit and what are the benefits? I just only picked up some for the benefit of demonstrating. So there are several benefits. It's not only health. Health definitely is a major thing. Like, for example, you take this miscellaneous diseases or fever. We have multiple mantras for emancipation, which is the ultimate goal of man in life. If and when one realizes he wants to go for it, and that is the mantra. These are the mantras to be repeated or chanted. And there may be some procedures. I'm just giving the mantra. I have not said about how you have to get initiated, what type of practices one should follow, and what are the observations, do's and don'ts. You need to do it the entire package. It's not just we are only talking of mantra at the moment. So general ability to increase your general tone up your body, your mental and physical status. if you have some financial crisis or some contingency, how to get out of it. Eye problems, lack of brains, lack of food, lack of progeny, knowledge to fulfill any desires in general. Okay. So for all types of things, we have got a solution as observed, practiced, and experimented by our ancestors. And they have given these recommendations. So we'll spend a little time going through those. Would you want me to take any specific one to start with? Any?
Oh, that would be nice. But I have a question prior. You talked about mantras, and then you talked about 65 verses. So there are verses number is different from the mantras. Am I right? For my understanding.
I'll go back here. The very first column talks about the serial number of the mantra. Okay. And the second column talks about its position in Rigveda.
Okay.
For example, 21st mantra in Souram refers to first Kanda, 164th Sukta, 47th mantra in Rigveda.
Okay.
So if you look at it, the first, if you go continuously, this is sequential number 1, first Kanda only. Suddenly it goes to fourth Kanda, then fifth Kanda, seventh, and sometimes it will go back. Let me see if it is. So sometimes it is not necessarily it is sequential in the same order. It will go back also. So to answer the question, the sequence number in Sauram and it's a tracing. We have traced it back to Rigveda, which mandala, which sukta, which mantra it is. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. No, my thing was to clarify mantra and verses. So we should not get confused between those two numbers.
Okay. There is only one thing called Rig. Let me use the right word actually.
Okay.
Rig, right word. And that comes in Rigveda. And same thing is carried down into Sauram also. So the numbering system is different, but mantra is same. And to identify the mantra so that there is no confusion, because most people are familiar with Rigveda, I gave the starting line of the first mantra.
So, but my question was mantras and verses are synonymous. They are the same, right? The verses.
Yes. That is a verse may be a loose word. That's why the moment you said verse, mantra and verse, I thought let's use the right terminology. It is Rik. Okay.
Thank you. Very nice. Yes, and thank you for asking me. Well, we can, because Smriti is talking about knowledge and wisdom, why don't we pick the last but one for knowledge? Probably.
Yeah. So for knowledge, this is the mantra which is recommended. Chitram devanam udagadanekam chakshar mitrasya varunasya agnehe apradhyava prudhivi antariksham surya atma jagatastastushascha. This is the typically it's a couplet. So what is it exactly saying? What I wonder, the powerful bands of light are emanating. They are actually providing the guidance for the three devatas or three deities, Mitra, Varuna, and Agni. Strictly speaking, Mitra, Varuna, and Agni are all sun only, but sun in the morning is typically referred to as Mitra, and Agni is for the afternoon and Varuna in the evening. So these are different names of Agni, of Surya. However, since their function, their characteristics are different, we differ by different names. And these are providing this wonderful radiance, and this is spreading all over the universe. Chitram Devana Mudagadani Kam Chachur Mitrasya Varunasya Agni. All three are being driven by this wonderful light of Surya Bhagavan. And this radiance itself, it is reaching both earth and heaven. Um, and it is becoming actually the soul of the objects in this in the entire universe. Java Prithvi is the heaven and earth. Okay, and this is becoming. So if you look at the literal meaning, probably it looks like simple. And what all we are saying is all things in this universe, whether mobile or stationary, they have got an essential spirit in it, and that is you, and you are driving all this stuff. So it is a general saying that God exists everywhere. It amounts to that. But that knowledge itself probably is the real knowledge which is supposed to guide us. So, Chitram Devanam Udagadanekam Chakshur Mitrasya Varunasya Agnehi Apradhyava Pudhivi Antariksham Surya Atma Jagatastastushasya. That's about knowledge. A good one you have picked up because that shows the spirit with which Smriti works. Okay. So knowledge is the first thing.
Thank you.
Moving on, I think it is important for me to talk about this very powerful triplet for fever, miscellaneous diseases.
Yes, especially in the COVID times that we are in now. Let's visit this mantra. Thank you.
Sure. So this is not one. It is like in Bangalore and other places, you get something called as set dosha. It comes in 3. So it's a package of mantras together. It is called Tricha, the 3 roots. So they need to be practiced, they're chanted together. Okay. So the very first one is Ujjannadja Mitra Maha Arohannuttaram Divam Rudrogam Mama Surya Harimanam Chanasaya. So you're raising sun and you're coming with such a resplendent, such a radiance into the heaven, and you please demolish my maladies. Okay, and specifically talks about take care of my Rudra, which is a heart problem, and Harimanam is a green substance, and you need to destroy it. Typically, Harimanam we can take it as an infection, probably, and this word is used in multiple places in these mantras. So basically, what all we are asking is, sun, with your great radiance, you are raising above into the sky and into the heaven, and destroy all our maladies. Specifically, take care of my heart problem and destroy this Harimana, which is actually cause for this disease.
Inflammation.
Annuttaram divam rudrogam mama surya harimanam chanasaya. This goes along with the next mantra in 50th mandala of RgVeda. Sukeshu me harimanam propanaka sudadbhasi adho haridraveshu me harimanam nidadbhasi. We are saying the Harimanam being green, take this green away and give it to the parrot. Sukha is the parrot. Okay, so give it to. Similarly, Ropana is another fast flying bird. Okay, give it away to Ropanaka, and you give it away to the green substances. What all we are saying is this is not required, and you transfer somewhere else. If there is problem, the best thing is to endure it. If you can't endure it, you transfer it. It is like a risk. You take insurance so that if risk occurs, the risk is transferred somewhere else. However, here one point has to be properly understood. We are not saying the disease should go to the fast-moving birds like Harimanam, like Ropanaka, or to the landscape, greenery, or to the parrots. It's not the disease. What is food for one can be a poison for someone else, and that is how the nature works. So what is not useful for us may be useful for somebody else. But here it's only symbolic. The green color is what we are talking of. It has to come out of, let it go where it really needs, where it is really required. Okay. Eshu me harimanam ropanaka sudadmasi adho haridraveshu me harimanam nidadmasi Udagadayamadicho visvena sahasa saha vishantam mahyam ramdhayanno aham vishate radham. So we are saying the second one is talking of transfer this green color stuff or the infection to wherever it has to really go. And then we are asking the sun, who is so radiantly, who's spreading the radiance in the whole sky. This could be an internal enemy. Internal enemies like Arishad Vargas, or an external enemy, someone or some event or some circumstance, set of circumstances which are causing hurdles to your progress. Okay, you need to take care of them. Here, when we are saying this, a little point of interest is the one who is creating trouble to me and who is hating me. I don't have to hate him. That's one good thing which we are saying. Reason is you are taking care. You is here. Sun God will take care of them. It will necessarily teach them what needs to be done. The essence here is that even if you are in trouble because of someone else, don't hate him or don't allow ill feelings, because that's not going to help. If I'm angry with someone, the other guy is not going to have any problem. I am going to have a problem, and I may have a reason, good reason why I'm angry, but anger is only going to harm me, not the other person. It is like drinking poison and thinking that somebody will die, somebody else will die. So it's a very good thing, because most of the enemies are internal, and we need to be extremely careful. The best way of dealing with such internal enemies, while we are practically trying to overcome those deficiencies or weaknesses, we surrender to God and ask Him genuinely, very sincerely, with from the bottom of our hearts, to clear these hurdles, to keep us clear of all this. And in the process, do not entertain any ill feelings. That appears to be the essence of this mantra. Udagadayama adityo vishvena sahasa saha vishantam mahyam ramdhayanno aham vishate radham. So these three the set of mantras are supposed to actually help us to overcome any type of problem, any type of difficulty in terms of the health. And there is a separate special process using which you need to chant this. And once done, people who actually practice, they can tell us, they assure us everything can be taken care. And so we will take a couple of more. Sorry. Okay. Now we look at mantras which deal with any type of desires which people generally have. It also helps in the process of aging, to help you to age less fast or slow down your aging, or taking care of your debility and other weaknesses. These two are good mantras which are also very popular, not only in the as a Definitely, it's a part of Rigveda, therefore they are known everywhere. Shyam no bhavachakshasa, shyam no anhasam bhanunasam himasam grunena, yadhasam advam cha samudhune, tatsuryadravinam dehi chitram. Sham is the auspiciousness. So we are asking Surya Bhagavan, with his grace, please give us the peace and well-being during day, during night, during in things which are cold, things which are hot, whatever, everywhere. Yatha, same way, on the paths we tread, we walk around, and the houses we live in, you grace us with your auspicious, the auspicious peace, let us say. And you provide us with all auspicious gifts and wealth. So there's too many desires, too many things which you are asking. But ultimately, the greatest gift one can have, as we all know, is to be at peace, be satisfied with an object or without an object, with or without anything. A person is satisfied, is content, and is at peace. I think nothing more than that is really required. And we are asking for the right thing. Of course, you may need certain small props like the objects, which are also there. It's not that we are saying be happy with what even if you don't have anything. So this is a nice mantra. I think it's generally considered to be one of the nice things. Sham no bhavachakshasa, sham no anha, sham bhanunasam, himasham grunena, yadhasam advam cha samudhurone, tatsu yadravidam dehi chitram. Asking, give us plenty of good things. What more? And अस्माकं देवा उभयाय जन्मने शर्म यच्छतद्विपदे चतुष्पदे अदत् पिबदूर्जयमानमासितं तदस्मै संयोररपोदधातना. We people, when we are asking for anything, we ask just not only for human beings, for also other lives. So we ask for the animals and other living beings who are sharing our earth along with us. So, us enough things for all of us to live here happily. And other is food, pibati is drink. And it gives us right food, right drink, which gives urjayamanam, which gives you a lot of energy. Okay. So it is not just any food, but it is it gives you right energy, right spirit, and both physically and mentally, and gives all the pleasures in a dharmic way. Okay, so this is because when we are saying yo is physical pleasures, arapo is not sin. Give us all types of benefits, all happiness, but in line with the nature's laws and in a dharmic way. That's what we are asking. अस्माकं देवा उभयाय जन्मने शर्म यच्छतद्विपदे चतुष्पदे अदत् विपदौर्जयमानमासितं तदस्मै संयोररपो दधातना. So that takes care of desires, which are probably it can be health, it can be money, it can be any other aspects of life. And similarly, we have several other things like rains, famines, and children, and whatnot. So this gives an idea of the mantras and their benefits if chanted. And generally, people chant the entire set of 65 mantras every day. I think they are fully taken care, both mentally, physically, and also by other means. Okay, so we can continue at another time if time permits, but I would like to just go to the next step. Having looked at these mantras and their meanings, and having chanted them and having seen some of these samples, a little bit of a reflection as So what are these mantras? How do they work? Is a normal question which everybody gets, and I think it's for us to get into those questions as well. One sec. Sort of a scientific approach is possible if for these Vedic thoughts to take it to the masses. Is it only meant for those people who know Sanskrit or who have learned it through some gurus? And whether can it, if it is beneficial, why not we take it to the people? So that is the question. Why not we treat this like any other drug, pharmaceutical drug, which is about to be released in the market? They will subject it to all types of checks and trials. So we should go through the clinical trials approach and see whether these mantras are, how they are working across people of all ages, all regions, all races and genders. And if they have some pre-existing diseases, how does it work? The totally normal, how does it work? And take large samples and keep analyzing how it is working and how, if it's not working, if it's not working, we can draw the conclusions later. If it works, and I'm actually getting this idea after seeing what Swami Ramdev and Acharya Balakrishna in the area of Ayurveda they are doing. Their drugs, in fact, Ayurvedic drugs, they don't need anybody's approval because they have been practiced for a very, very long time. And except India, probably most other countries, they won't consider Ayurvedic drugs as drugs. They may consider it as a food supplement. In spite of it, thousands and thousands of people keep using it as an alternate medicine. And every country, I think, I'm very sure that has got an alternate medicine, something or the other. It may be pranic healing, or it can be Veda, Ayurveda, or yoga practice, and any other thing. So what I'm saying is, to get the acceptability, since some of us believe in it very, very strongly, an approach which will satisfy and provide the answers and increases the confidence of common people, we need to go through those steps, is what I was recommending. Some other time, probably we can think. I'm just looking at some of the examples of other scientists, including Bruce Lipton, who is a stem cell biologist, who thinks it is DNA that is actually dictating one's behavior, but it is the set of circumstances which includes belief. Belief can drive you like anything, much more than what your DNA does. That's what he thinks. And similarly, Francis Collins, who does not deal with our Asian type of philosophy, but he thinks spirituality. And by the way, he is the head of National Institute of Health, USA, and he feels that both can coexist, spirituality and the medicine. He was an atheist. He's a very hard atheist, and he turned around over a period of time out of his experiences, both in life and also in his profession. Similar, physical is a journalist. Gary Jukav is a journalist who wrote a wonderful book on the physical sciences. Very deep, very difficult, high-level physics. He tried to understand, talk to many scientists, many physicists, and try to bring down to the common man for his understanding. He comes to the same conclusion. Some of the highest levels of wisdom Asian rishis came to are something similar. By analogy, they are almost similar to what the quantum mechanics or highest level of physics reach. And it is a little interesting. They are not divergent. So this is, I'm just giving these examples to say that we are not looking at spirituality or our ancient thinking versus scientific thinking, where actually our thinking itself is very scientific. Our spirituality itself is very scientific. I think more on this, Dr. Vedavyas has written a wonderful book, having dealt on that, But that's a different subject. We have sort of come to the end of this session. Thanks for very much for this opportunity you gave us.
Oh, what an honor! Such a wealth of information. We picked Maha Souram, not only the verses, you really brought such great vibrations and empowering vibrations, and also that one should take a responsibility behind what we do, why we do, and excellent thought process. Nowadays, everything is project-based, knowledge-based, evidence-based. So definitely, we all should think the practical applications and also, be grateful of what was transferred to us through the mantras. And to this day, we are carrying it. And may everybody be enlightened with such grace and knowledge. What a wonderful hour spent with you. And I'm very, very sure our Smriti viewers are going to benefit so much. And you have already tickled their brains. Oh, it's not just about reciting mantras. We are talking about the efficacies, the medical side of it, the research, and how we have so much to do in the future as well. A great honor. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Appreciate. Good luck to Smriti.
Yeah. And, thank you. Please visit us back again. Dr. Purushotham Garu will have more information to share in our channel for the benefit of everyone. Thank you. Namaste.